This is the suite we're working with. And let me go ahead and show you these stamp sets and the dies. Thank you, ladies, very much. So this stamp set is Warm Hugs. And you're going to notice here that we've got 3 images that are the same size and shape. And then we have this image here, like a stop sign. I guess it's an octagon. And we've got some greetings. And then we've got candy canes, trees, a heart, a star, some little dots, a coffee mug, and this stamp's on top of the coffee mug, and then some steam. All right. So I'm going to show you the dies. Here are the dies for cutting out the tree, the bow, the star. No, that's not a bow. That's the candy canes. I'm sorry. Tree, candy canes, and stars. This is for the heart, and this is for the cup. This is that octagon shape, like a stop sign. Then we've got this beautiful die cut here. It has stitching, and you're going to see that up close tonight. This one actually cuts out those circles. And when it cuts it out, it also cuts out the center. So it cuts twice when you're rolling it through. All right. Now these are the mug wraps right here, and they wrap around the small coffee cups. Now next week, I'm going to show you how to use these wrappers, okay, and how to embellish them around the mugs, all right? Let's see, so I've shown you that bundle. And then also part of the suite is Wrapped in Christmas. And this has tons of greetings. And even some of the die, the circle die, will work for this image right here. Okay, so let's turn to page 10. And you're going to notice, and I'm going to zoom in. Woo, I really zoomed in that time. Let's zoom out a bit. Hang tight. I'm still out too much. Sorry. Okay. All right. So you're going to see the Warm Wraps dies right here. And I did not have a chance to get those dies cut out today. So that's why I don't have the die cuts to show you. But these are the dies. Here is the stamp set. And by the way, the Eat, Drink, and Be Cozy and I Like You a Latte can also be cut out with the circle, all right? And here's that other stamp set I was telling you about, Wrapped in Christmas. And Stampin' Up! Has given us a lot of images here, all right along here, all kinds of samples for us to look at. And you can see that we also have mini coffee carriers, which we'll talk about next week, along with the mini cups. There's the mini star embellishments. The Real Red trim, we're going to use that tonight. Then there's the Mossy Meadow stripe ribbon. And then there's 2 embossing folders, and you'll actually get to see those tonight, okay? So you'll get an up-close look at those. Now let's look at the designer paper. And you know me, I had to wrap some books. So I've wrapped these books in 3 pieces of the designer paper. Isn't that pretty? Isn't that, the paper is just gorgeous. It coordinates with Real Red, Pear Pizzazz, and Mossy Meadow. And then I created the little tag. This is the Real Red sheer ribbon. I created this little tag for it. And then here's that little star that I added to it. And that's the Heartwarming Hugs designer paper. So I'm going to show you some more of that paper. Here is one of the sheets, and we're actually going to use this tonight. And here's the opposite side. And here's another sheet of paper. And here's another one. That's the opposite side. I know, I love the books. They're so fun to make. So here are some stripes. And it's houndstooth pattern on the other side. And can you all tell that I didn't get a chance to do my designer paper chart that my reference tool that I usually make. I just didn't get a chance to get it done. Here's this side, and if you flip it over, here is the check. This is a Mossy Meadow check. And I think, okay, here's the other one right here. So that's polka dots. And then there's the other check. Real Red, Mossy Meadow, and Pear Pizzazz. All right. So that's the designer paper. It is so fun. All right, I'm gonna move some things out of the way so that we can get started. And I'm gonna show you the projects now that we're creating tonight. We're gonna take our 3x3 acetate box. We're gonna wrap a belly band around it, and then we're going to add this label and ribbon. Now this box, I think I've shown you these before. We probably have done another craft with these before. I'm pretty sure a gift card would fit in here. A nice large peppermint patty would fit in here. A Ghirardelli chocolate square would fit. Gail, if you're watching, Werther's Original, that coffee flavor would be perfect in here. I need to order some of those off Amazon. So this will be the first project that we're gonna make this evening. And then our second project is a shaker card. Now ladies, I learned how to make this shaker card this past weekend at our onstage virtual event. And the demonstrator's name, I believe her name is Rosa Maria Gonzalez. And she made a shaker card with some new product that's coming in January, and it was absolutely adorable. And so I had to try shaker cards, all right? And so what do you see inside? We've got some cups, and then I made this label, and it says, I love you, a latte, all right? And I am going to have a special gift for everyone tonight because I have created a file for you where you can download and print these labels, okay? So I hope that's something that you will enjoy. But this is the shaker card, and that'll be the second project that we're doing. I know I love the paper, Toddy, and I ended up ordering some more because I just really liked it. It's really fun paper. Okay, I think we're about ready to get started. Yeah, the coffee flavor, absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna move the shaker card. We're gonna do that second. And by the way, both of these are going home with someone tonight. All right, we'll have 2 drawings tonight, 2 winners. And anyway, so here we go. Okay, so let's start with our stamping. And I'm gonna try and zoom in, ladies. Okay, good, that's perfect. I know we're gonna need Whisper White for stamping. And then we're going to need crumb cake. All right, and the crumb cake is gonna be for the cup, okay? So let's start with the little cup. And I'm going to use soft suede, all right? And I'm going to stamp the outline of the cup onto crumb cake, okay? Now, my soft suede probably needs re-inking. And I'm telling you this because usually what I do is I stamp in soft suede, then I ink, stamp off, and then stamp the cup. But this needs to be re-inked, and so I need to add more ink to the pad, and so I really don't need to stamp off. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? All right, so there's my cup. Now I'm going to give you a little advice while you're while you're stamping your cups. Go on and stamp 2. That way, if the die slips on this one, you have another cup already stamped that you can cut out, okay? So I try and do that, especially with the small dies. All right, so our cup is done. And now we're gonna move over to Mossy Meadow. And I see that everybody wants these projects tonight. Thank you. That's such a compliment, ladies. Such a big compliment. So I'm gonna ink this octagon shape here in Mossy Meadow. And that's what it's going to look like. All right, isn't that pretty? It's such an intricate little design. I just love it. I forgot that I zoomed the camera in, so I gotta keep my paper right in front of you. Now we're gonna use some real red. And we are going to stamp This One's on Me, Merry Christmas. And then we're going to ink that and we're going to press, and there we are in real red. Okay, so we've gotten them all done, the stamping for these, and this is what we're going to cut out. Now, while we have the machine on the table, we're going to do some embossing. And I want to show you how I embossed this belly band, okay? And I used the embossing folder right here. There's also another embossing folder, and this one kind of looks like tweed. And so you actually get both of these in the package, and you'll be able to use this whenever we get our new mini machine, whenever that one comes out, okay? These are the perfect size for the mini. Okay, now before we get the machine out, I just remembered that I need to show you how to cut the belly band, okay? I love how you all are fussing over who's going to win the prizes. I love it. Okay. So we are going to need the trimmer, and I'm probably going to keep this close up so that you can see the lines and stuff, but I want to show you something else. Hey, Mary, welcome. So good to have you tonight. I'm going to show you on this, okay? First of all, the length of the belly band, okay, is 10 inches, all right? And then the width is 2 inches. And I'm going to show you how to cut the cardstock so you can get the more belly bands out of the cardstock, okay? Without wasting paper. But I want to show you this, all right? Yeah, I did it again, ladies. I'm giving you such crazy, crazy measurements. So the first score line is 9 16 inches. So I'm going to show you where it is, okay? All right. No, yeah, 9/16 of an inch. 4 9/16 of an inch. All right, so here we are. This right here, I guess I can lay that down. This right here is 4, right? Okay. So this is 4.5, which is 4 8/16 of an inch, okay? That's 8/16, that long line. If you go over to the next line, that's 9/16 of an inch, all right? So that's where it is. It's the line right after 4.5. Now, our next score line is going to be, 5 7/16 of an inch. All right, so let me show you where that is. We're going over to 5. And remember, 8/16 of an inch is the 1/2 inch mark. So we're going to back up 1. And that's 7/16 of an inch right there. Okay? And I know that's a little more difficult when you get into the 16th inch measurements, all right? but I wanted you to see that. And so now I'm going to show you how to cut your cardstock. All right. We're going to use Real Red. And here it is right here. And the first thing we want to do is, I'm killing you, Margaret. What am I doing? What am I doing? All right, so the length of this is 11 inches, right? So we want to cut it at 10 inches, all right? So we are getting rid of this, and we're not going to need it, okay? All right, now we're going to do the scoring, and this will probably be harder for you to see, and that's why I wanted to show you up close. All right, so 4 9/16, and we're scoring on the 10-inch side, okay? All right, so that's the first score line, and then we're going to go over to 5 7/16 of an inch and score here. All right, and so right here are the score lines. Now we're going to rotate this to the 8.5-inch side, and we're going to cut at 2 inches. All right, so that's one belly band, and then we'll scroll over again to 2 and cut another one, and then again at 2, and again at 2. So ladies, were you counting with me? We can get 4 belly bands, okay? 4 belly bands out of 1 sheet of cardstock, all right? Tasha, there will be written measurements, yes. After I sign off tonight, I'll try to remember to put the measurements on the same post, okay? And then you can always find written measurements in the supply list on my blog on Friday mornings, okay? Or Friday during the day, all right? Okay. So now we're going to need one of our punches, and I don't see it on my table, so hang tight. I am going to grab that. If I can find it. I should be able to find it. All right. Wouldn't you know, it was in the very last box. Okay, so we're going to use the scalloped tag topper punch. And we're going to slide that in. Notice how this fits the 2-inch piece of paper. All right. And then we're going to turn it around the other way and do the very same thing. And now, ladies, you have your belly band, okay? So let me get that trash out of the way. I am going to bring in the Stampin' Cut emboss machine now. And we're going to do some cutting and some embossing. All right, now I'm going to move that handle closest to me. Maria, it is not a new punch. We've had it for quite a while. It is still available in the annual catalog. And I think it's called the Scalloped Tag Topper Punch. Okay? So yeah, that one's been around a bit. Let's do our embossing first. So we need to review so that we know which sandwich we need for embossing. All right, I am using a standard embossing folder this evening, okay? So I need platform 1, I need cutting plate, I need the embossing folder and paper, and then the cutting plate, all right? And so the cutting plate is number 3, by the way. So I'm gonna put that there, and let me find the embossing folder. Here it is. I love these little dots. I think they're so cute. Okay, so I'm going to insert this. Now, I could insert this just to the score line, or I can insert it all the way. And actually what I want to do is, you see that score line there? I'm just going to score right to the score line. I really don't need to score that. It's the bottom, so I really don't need to do that, okay? Thank you, Tom. Tom said he used the scallop tag punch on his moose tags. Thank you, Tom. You remembered, Tom. You remembered. I'm gonna sell you one. All right, so we're gonna roll this through. Now remember, I'm not on a wood table, so this is a bit shaky, okay? But I love the smoothness and the quietness of the machine. All right, so look, it's all embossed. Now I'm gonna turn it around and I wanna emboss this side, okay? So I'm gonna open it back up. Put it back in. We've got the same sandwich, nothing new there. And we'll just roll it back through, all right? Tom, everyone is telling you hello. All right. Yeah, Tom was teasing me earlier today. He's like, do you want me to teach tonight? Because I can do it. I'm ready. So we'll have to have him back in January when we have a new catalog. All right, our belly band is all embossed. I could have embossed the bottom, but didn't. Okay, so that's optional. All right, now let's do our cutting. All right, hang tight. I am stuck here. They were stuck together, static electricity. All right, I'm gonna put number 2 back in there. I'm gonna put 3, and then where are my stamped items? Right here. Let's go ahead and we're gonna use the dies. All right, and we're just gonna put this here. All right, and then I'm going to use this piece. Now you're going to love this piece, okay? This is super, super cool. This is gonna lay right on top, just like that. And then we're gonna put this here. And this moved just a little bit, so I want to scoot it over. All right, and now we'll go on through and we'll get these cut. All right. So here's our little piece. Isn't that cool? I love this shape. I just love it. You know, Joyce, that is an awesome idea. When the new catalog comes, I'm going to have Tom go through it and he can pick his favorite and we'll call it Tom's favorite. How about that? I love that idea. All right, did you all see what happened? Let me get that die out again. I just think this is the coolest. It cuts around the circle and the centerpiece. Isn't that neat? And I'm sure we could all come up with something for that little circle. But for now, I'll just pop it in the trash. We have one more to do, and that's gonna be our little cup. I just love these little cups. They are so cute. All right, I think I've got that on, and now I need my cutting pad. And now we'll roll this through, all right? That's so funny, Carol. I am glad you found it humorous. All right, and so here's our little cup right here. How cute is that? And then I'm gonna put this cup back before I lose it, okay? Now listen, be sure to come back next Wednesday night because I'm gonna show you how these wraps work and how to put them around your cup. And we might even use the felt sheets to do it, all right? So I don't want you to miss that. All right, so we're done with the Big Shot here. Oops, it's not the Big Shot anymore. It's the Stampin' Cut Emboss machine. Okay. Now, our little acetate boxes are in the annual catalog. And I do have my catalog over here tonight. All right, let's see. Page 152. These are the acetate card boxes, and they're 3 1/8 of an inch by 3 1/8 of an inch, okay? And what I've done with this one is, when you get the acetate boxes, and how many come in a pack? Let's see. You get 10 clear boxes in a pack. You've got an end on each side, okay? But what I've done for tonight's purposes, I've cut off the flap. So maybe I can show you on this side. See this flap? I took my paper trimmer and I cut it off. Now, words of advice with your paper trimmer. If you have a brand new paper trimmer, don't use it. You will ruin your blade. If you have some old trimmer blades, use an old blade and cut the acetate. And if you don't, then use your scissors, okay? So I kept it open so that a cute little treat could go down inside, like a big peppermint patty or a cookie, something like that. All right, but you could certainly leave the top on, close it, and still use the belly band and embellishment, all right? So you don't have to cut off the top, but I just wanted to show you another idea that you could use. You want to cut your designer paper 3 by 3 inches, okay? And if you don't want your designer paper to fall out of the box, or if you want to keep it in one place, just add a glue dot, just one, slide this in, and then attach it to the box. And it's not gonna move, okay? Just one glue dot. All right, so now we're gonna fold our score lines. And then we are just going to put this box and the belly band wraps around the center. Now, sometimes the belly band likes to slip as well. So just take a glue dot, just add it to the back of the belly band, and then you can position this, and then when you bring up that back flap, you do want the 2 flaps to line up, okay? So does that make sense? Just a simple glue dot to kind of hold it there. And you want your tag topper punch, you don't want them to be like this. You want them to meet and be together, okay? So that's the first little part of that. Now, what I haven't showed you with one of the dies tonight is this little stitched shape. It is a circle. Do you see the stitching around the circle? There it is, and I'm going to show you the die. It's this one right here that has stitching, okay? So that's the one that I used, and that's what we're going to attach to the belly band. All right, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to use the Stampin' Seal Plus, and I am going to just add this to the back of that circle, and then I am just going to center this, okay, right there. And then I'm actually going to pop this up, all right? And these are just the outside edges of my dimensionals that I am using up, okay? All right. Simone, are you back? Your comments said I lost you again, so I hope that I am still live. All right, so that's popped up right on the center. Then we get to pop up this little guy, and I'm going to use minis for this. And I'm going to go ahead and use 4. And then we're going to peel these off. All right. You all let me know if you have any questions. All right. And then, of course, with the words, you've got to make sure that you put it on straight. Okay? So there it is straight. You're going to take your little mug and you're going to pop this up too. I think I better use a mini. Hang tight. Let's put a little mini dimensional there. And then you're just going to pop that up right in the center. Okay? So now we're going to add some ribbon. And I really couldn't figure out which ribbon I wanted. I mean, we have a really nice selection for the holidays, but nothing was suiting me. And so I decided that I would take the silver metallic edge ribbon. And I will show you where that is. It's actually in the annual book. And it's right here. One of the ribbons has a silver trim and the other one has a gold trim. And so we're using the silver one tonight. And the name of it is Metallic Edge Ribbon. All right. Well, I would love for this ribbon to be green, right? So I've got a little trick to show you tonight. Do you see the green ribbon here? We're going to use our Mossy Meadow Stampin' Blend and we're going to color the ribbon. Oh, I know, Toddy. What a great idea. I mean, we go through a lot of dimensionals. Absolutely. All right, so this is Mossy Meadow. I am using the light. I would suggest when you're coloring ribbon, start out with the light. If it's too light, then add the dark. If you start with dark, you can't really lighten it up, okay? All right. All right, so here we go. I'm going to color this just like this. And I'm using the brush tip. And also I'm using scrap paper, all right? It does take a few minutes for the ribbon to dry, so I probably should have done this first and then set it aside. And I don't know if you can tell, but my Mossy Meadow marker is almost dry, but I've had it for quite a while and it gets a lot of use in classes. So it just may be time for a new one. All right, so I'll go on. And now I've got this end to do. Now, have you all ever done this? Have you ever colored your ribbon? I've done it in class before, but it's been a while. The last time I did this, I was using Calypso Coral, and that was really, really pretty. But again, if you're gonna color your ribbon, do that first. Then it can lay there and dry while you're stamping and cutting out things. Okay? All right, and I think we got it, ladies. I don't even know why I'm still coloring. I guess because it's fun. Thank you, Lynn. All right. Okay, so now we're ready to put that ribbon through both of these holes. And then we're just going to tie a bow, all right? So I'll tie my bow like that. Make a loop. Now this, look, this is just like tying your shoe, okay? I'm not doing anything special with the bow. And as you can see, it's going to take a little work here to get it like I want it. So hang tight. Don't like that. Okay. So now wouldn't these just be adorable little treats for neighbors and co-workers? I think I just about have it, ladies. All right. And I'm going to cut this at an angle. And I'm going to do the same here. You know, Mary Kay, it really did dry quicker than I thought it would. And it could be because my marker, as you can see by the marker, it's drying up. I know that when we colored in Calypso Coral, it was really wet and it was kind of getting everywhere. So it may depend on the marker, okay? Well, thank you, Dawn. I'm glad you like my laugh. All right, and it does. Once you color it, it makes the ribbon stiffer. So, all right, but it's just like, you know, tying your shoe. All right, so that's our first little treat. All right, thank you, Joyce. I know you always say that my bows look good. I think it's because I have 3 girls and I've tied a lot of bows in my lifetime. All right, I'll get rid of the scrap paper. And now we're gonna move on to our shaker card, okay? Let's go ahead and get this greeting stamped, and I'm gonna show you the stamp set. It's the Wrapped in Christmas. I love how this stamp set coordinates with the suite because we get lots of words in here and they go with the coffee carriers. You can put these words on the mugs, the coffee cups, and you can use it as greetings as well for Christmas cards. Okay, so I'm using a stitched Whisper White circle. Thank you so much. Yes, Gail, I have a feeling you're gonna make some too. I really do. All right, so ladies, this is our Whisper White stitched circle. Let me show you where it's from. It's from Stitch Shapes. You all know I use these almost every day. Whenever I'm stamping, I'm using these. And then, by the way, I used 2 stitch circles for this project. So I used the largest one for Garden Green, and then I used next to the largest for the Whisper White, okay? And I also used the layering circles, and this is in Pear Pizzazz, and I think this just might be the die that I used right here. Yep, that's the one I used. Let me measure so you'll know about which scallop